Okay, welcome to lesson 17. So in this lesson we will be discussing list. So this is also data type in Python, like boolean, float, int, and a list is a linear data structure. Because you will have a list like this. And here, some elements. So let's have two notes about a list. It can have elements with the same data type. And the second node, which is the opposite of the first node, it can have elements with different data types. So let's say we have a list. So here we have 22, 50, 51, minus 2, 100, 35. Do we have different data types or the same data type? Of course we have the same data type, and the data type here, the data type of elements is int, right? So they all have the same data type. Now let's have another list, but this time with different data types. We have a string, we have true, boolean, we have 22 integer, we have 5.5 float, and let's say we have minus 0.31. So here we have elements with different data types. So data types here we have string, we have boolean, we have int, and we have float. So both of them are valid. You can have a list with different data types or a list with the same data type. The elements inside the list. So something super important is the index. The index of an element in a list, or the position, or the location of that element. But mostly we use index, not position or location, the index of that element. So let's have a list here. Now let's have some elements. 5, 2, 10, 51, 100. I'm using integers for simplicity. You can have elements with different data types, no problem. So here I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What are these numbers? These are indexes. And here, the first index is always 0 in Python. or let's say the starting index is 0, always, all the time, in Python. You might have a question about the first index. Is it always 0? In some programming languages, it starts from 1. So something extra for you. In R, the programming language, the indexing starts from 1. But in Python, always 0. So we have index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last index is 4. The first index is 0. So how many elements do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. So here we have 5 elements. Or the length of the list is 5. The length of the list is 5 because we do have 5 elements. So these numbers here are the indexes. Always start from 0. 0, 1, 2, up to length minus 1. So this is basically length of the list minus 1. So something else about lists. Lists can have duplicates. So you have a list of some elements. We have 5, 10, 5, 2, 3, 5. So here you can see we have 5, 5, 5. So we repeat number 5 3 times, or the frequency of 5 is 3. So they are the same, right? So we don't have any problem because a list can have duplicates. So you don't have any problem. Now let's go back to indexing again. So this time we have something a bit strange. -2, 5, 10, 22, 100, 35. So you know that. 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have positive indexes here. Positive indexes. But we do have something else. We also have negative indexes. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. So here we have negative indexes. And probably you've noticed we have -1. If you want to use negative indexes, you always start from -1. But if you want to use positive indexes, you always start from 0. So positive indexing starts from 0. And negative indexing starts from -1. So how many elements do we have here? how many numbers or how many integers do we have in the list? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length of the list is 6 because we have 6 elements. So let's say you don't have any idea about indexes. So the length is 6, right? So here you can say the first index is always 0, and let me change the color, and the last index is what? The last index is the length of the list minus 1. 6 minus 1 equals 5. So here we have the first element as minus 2, the second element 5, the third element 10, the fourth element 22, and so on. So what is the index of the fifth element? So here we need the index of the fifth element, or element 5. They are the same, element 5 or the fifth element. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth element, or element number 5, is 100. And what is the index of 100? The index of 100 is 4. Or you can simply write the index like the fifth element, 5, minus 1 equals 4. So this 4 here is the index of the fifth element. And here, something about negative indexing. In negative indexing, we don't have number 0 because you always start from minus 1. So the same question here. So is it possible to access one element using negative indexes? Of course you can. So let's say we want to get 100 using negative indexing. So what is the index? It's simply minus 2. So this is the index of 100. Also this one. So each element in a list has 2 indexes, one positive, one negative. Let me write it as a note here. Each element in a list has 2 indexes, positive and negative. So let's finish the lesson here. So that was an introduction to lists in Python. So next time we will discuss how to declare a list, how to access, and how to modify an element. So as usual, let me say it again. As usual, Take care and bye bye.